Hello and welcome to the video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about my advice for high school runners. Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't expect to make a video like this, but as most of you may know at this point, one of the big parts of Run Breiter is the fact that we give out personalized and customized running plans for anyone in the Run Breiter community who wants one. Now, a lot of the people that I've actually been getting reached out to in regards to getting these free running plans have included a lot of high school runners, which I was surprised about just due to the fact that you obviously have a coach and that coach runs the practices and the plans. But thinking about it, when I was at that age, what was super important to me was making sure that I got the best possible times, and then I looked at all resources on top of what I was doing with my team. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is first talking about my story as a high school runner. I'll then be giving my advice, if I were to go back, what I would recommend to you, and then I will finish things off by talking about how I can be a resource for you. So as far as my running journey goes, the reason I got into running in the first place was due to me being a chubby kid, I won't lie. I was always active and liked to move, but didn't eat well at all, and would rather stay in and play video games than go outside and run multiple miles. I then found out at a young age my cholesterol wasn't doing so well, and started understanding the importance of health and nutrition, both for feeling good, looking good, to be able to attract girls, so started learning how to work out naturally. I went through some different personal training intro classes at the JCC, where I learned how to lift, but also was playing competitive sports as well growing up. Although when I got to 7th grade, the days of playing local sports leagues was coming to an end, as you could become a member of different school teams. So I went forward, and I tried out for the sports I enjoyed. First, the basketball team. Well, there, I was cut. I was barely 5 feet at the time and had an average jump shot, so was unable to separate myself from the rest of the group. Volleyball, again, I was 5 feet, and at the time I didn't have years of experience. And then baseball, my favorite sport to play at the time, a sport I really invested a lot of time into as a young kid. But when playing against some of the best in my district and swinging against 60 to 70 mile fastballs had me quite embarrassed, I won't lie. 8th grade comes, and I was still a bit chubby and didn't improve at any of these sports enough to have the confidence to try it again, so I figured I would try out spring track and field. Now, I was pretty terrible, I won't lie, competing bottom of the pack in most races, but I did show up every day, gave my all during the practices, and improved a lot. But I was never too serious about it. It was social, it was fun, it was a way to check off the box and get active. I then graduated middle school and headed over to the high school level with plans of trying out cross country. I remember first hearing about it and thinking it was a sport where we'd be traveling across the country and running when I first heard the name, and it took me until joining to realize it was just races off a track and in the trails. And in my first season, I was awful. I was a bottom 2 runner on the team, and since I was so bad, I was part of a group that would screw around a lot. Go run to Taco Bell and McDonald's during long runs instead of doing the workouts. It was fun, but honestly very pathetic, and eventually I realized I was wasting my time and I should either quit the team or try to get better. I chose the route, luckily, of getting better and committed myself to the sport, which is one of the best decisions I've made in my entire life. And I improved every day, in every race, in every practice. I showed up every day. I listened to what the workouts were and how to do them and what pace I should be doing them. I wasn't just a student of the sport, but the sport became my life, and every decision I made was thinking about how it could affect my running. And I invested in the right gear and spent time outside of practice learning, and I started watching motivational videos on running, watching different movies and reading books, and as the years passed, I got into great shape and was establishing myself as the best runner on the team by my junior year. And not only was I the best runner, but I was a leader that led by example. I grew a culture of fun, but also hard work. I helped the newbies and I helped the vets and was awarded as a captain. I broke some school records, competed in championship level meets, and was a team MVP for multiple seasons. If I didn't have some major joint dysfunction for the second half of my junior year as a side effect of a skin medication I was on, and then admittedly getting into partying my senior year, I could have, in my opinion, been a top 10 runner in Long Island and qualified for D1 schools the way things were going. Although with an opportunity to run at the D3, possibly D2 level, I decided instead to get the college experience and run as a choice with a club team. And I have no regrets there. I ended up coaching for 3 years in college, and without that experience, who knows if I would have ever made this page, and who knows the experience I would have had in college. So that's my story. Now here's my advice. First is that it's important to understand that there are 2 ways to be good at running. There's natural talent and there's hard work. I excel due to hard work, being coachable, and being patient. Although if you have talent, you can become good without as much hard work. And if you have talent and you're willing to deploy very hard work, Well, that's going to give you the opportunity to be remembered for doing something truly special. My number 2 advice is to invest in the sport. And that's just not necessarily meaning investing money, but it also can mean investing time. And I know when you're in high school, we don't all have the resources of coming from a ton of money. So with this, I recommend doing the best you can, of course, as well as having the luxury of having a lot of time with part-time jobs and classes. But whether that's investing the right shoes or spending some extra time on the weekend training, you want to make sure to put yourself in a position where you can stay healthy and that you're able to set yourself apart from other runners if you have goals of being a top-level runner. Invest in a running watch, whether it's a Timex at a minimum to get splits during track workouts, or a GPS watch if you have the ability to go above and beyond. I highly recommend it. If you have the ability to do so, I even recommend during the summer going to a running camp. Going into my senior year, I did a program through Nike at SUNY Cortland, where I went to a campus there at SUNY Cortland for 2 weeks. And I got to train with other top high school runners, and college coaches taught me some incredible lessons that I would have never learned at the high school level. And during that 2 weeks, I learned so much about running in such an accelerated time, and I wish I did that every single summer. My number 3 piece of advice is, regardless if you can go to a camp or not, run during the summer. Taking off multiple months with running is ultimately going to set you back when trying to become your very best. It comes back very quickly, yes, but if you want to see improvement during cross-country running during the summer, and running hard is key. Also, running in between seasons, I highly recommend as well, and being a 3-season running athlete, I recommend. Number 4 would be do more than what's expected at practice unless you have a very experienced coach. My coach was very solid in high school, although the training plans we had in place I felt were more for the full team rather than catered to the individual at times. Therefore, I made sure instead of the generic 5-day practices we had to be running 6 days a week, and also did an extended warm-up before practice and would do my own personal strength training outside of practice. If you do have a coach that has a history of putting runners into top college programs, my advice would be to just listen to his or her training plan. They're going to know what's best for you and understand you more than anyone else will. Number 5 would be to consume running content. Now, this could be movies, YouTube videos, TikToks, podcasts, books, whatever you like. Being obsessed with the sport will get you mentally pumped for your next workout and give you additional passion for your running. Obviously, I want you to listen to me, but don't just listen to me. Search the web, find different content creators you like and you trust. There are so many great folks out there doing this. Number 6 would be cherish your ability to run and make it a lifelong passion. At the end of the day, being able to run is a gift that not everyone can do. And if you're not hitting your PRs or if you have setbacks, don't let it defeat you. Running is one of the few sports you can do your entire life. All you need is a pair of shoes and a place to run, and you're good to go. Maybe you're trying to break a 5-minute mile right now, but you could be doing ultra marathons in 20 years. It's important to have goals and to do your best, but don't mentally burn yourself out. Do it for happiness, and you will have more of a likely chance of doing it long term. Now, as far as how I can be a resource for you, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I've had a lot of different high school runners reach out to me to get personalized and customized running plans. Now, I will never tell someone that I will not give you a plan, but I want to make sure that I'm being effective with your time and also that I'm being effective with my time. I want to make sure if I'm creating a plan for someone that they're going to actually use it, stick with it, and take the time to understand it. Now, when you are part of a team, a lot of the workouts that you're going to be doing, you don't really have a choice but to do if you want to stay on that team. I can't give you a workout and you tell your coach, hey, I'm doing this workout instead of what you're telling me to do, unless you are in a program where they give you the freedom in choosing your workouts, which is pretty rare to come by, I'll be honest. But what I can do is gain an understanding of what it is you're doing, and if you want to go above and beyond of what your coach is providing because you're in a situation where it's more catered for the team rather than the individual, that's where I can come in and understand what you're doing and add additional value to that. I'm also happy to create plans in between seasons, and if you're doing summer running and you're not part of a team during the summer, we can put together a plan during that too. I would also recommend viewing my content. I'm going to be providing a lot of entertaining, motivational, and educational based running videos for the long term, and also my podcast, which is new, but that exists too. So yeah, definitely take part in that. I'm also happy to just speak with you in general. If you need advice, whether it's mindset or motivation, maybe you're someone who wants to run at the collegiate level and you don't know where to start. Even though I didn't run in the college level, I do understand the process of how to get into a college running program, ways that you can go about getting recruited, things like that. So definitely feel free to use me as a resource if you're not getting the resources in your school and you want someone to help you out. Other than that, if there are just any general questions you have, feel free to reach out. I'll get to you as quickly as I can. Most people could probably say that I get back within a couple of days at most, and normally it's within 24 hours. So, I'm looking at building a digital running community of people that I'm able to help and motivate and allow you to really gain the happiness with running for the long term that I have for myself. But I appreciate everyone for listening to this video on my advice for high school runners. I hope you enjoyed my story. I hope this advice gave you some value and some motivation. And if you need me as a resource, I'm here. Don't forget to run brighter, and I look forward to hearing more and more success stories as we continue to grow. Thanks, and have a good one.